I'll let her.
You were given an
opportunity.
opportunity. So you were given an opportunity to go to ISF, and you said, "I don't want to do that." Right?
I was kind of scared and didn't know, like, with the courts.
Well, I mean, ISF would be better than prison.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of females in there that don't have a stack of write-ups like this.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't call officers bitches. We're looking at 2 weeks ago. Bitch, you've been waiting all day to just write me up. You don't. So you're on felony probation and you're using drugs, knowing it could send you to prison, and you don't think that's a problem.
Today we're in Judge West courtroom, and it's already a full-blown circus. Multiple defendants are staring down years behind bars, and you can practically smell the desperation the moment it sinks in that today is not their lucky day. Every single one of them showed up armed with long, dramatic excuses, but not a single shred of real accountability. It's like watching a lineup of people claiming innocence while the evidence sits right behind them, waving hello. Judge West isn't buying a word of it, and honestly, who would? Every story sounds like it was stitched together from leftover courtroom TikToks. The tension is thick, the stakes are high, and this bench has zero patience for nonsense. So the real question is, who's going to fold first under pressure? Let's dive in.
Mr. Chambers, in cause number 2137015, I have a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. Shows that you were placed on probation September 14th of 2022 for the offense of aggravated assault, family violence, second-degree felony, and that was a 10-year deferred probation. Is that correct? This motion alleges that you violated your probation. Count 1 alleges that you failed to report as directed to the probation department February 12th, February 28th, April 8th, and May 8th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? I mean, is that true or not true? I'm sorry. And then count 2 alleges that you failed to work faithfully at suitable employment and provide verification of that. And is that true or not true? Count 3 alleges that you provided a urine sample January 22nd and April 22nd of 2024 that tested positive for tetrahydrocannabinol. And is that true or not true? THC, marijuana. Is that true? Count 4 alleges that you failed to provide verification of performing your community service hours, and is that true or not true? Count 5 alleges that you failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing the Battering Intervention and Prevention Program. Is that true or not true?
I have a certificate that I completed the program.
Okay. Count 6 alleges that you failed to submit to alcohol or drug screening March 22nd of 2024, and is that true or not true? So it'd be not true. 2, 6. Count 7 alleges that you failed to provide verification of entering and successfully completing the moral recognition therapy, the MRT program. Is that true or not true?
I don't know, because she told me to complete the bill class first, and I complete the bill class.
Okay, so I'll put not true for 7.
I would start the other class, because that's the class you do at the program.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I never start one of the classes.
Okay. Count 8 alleges you're behind in your court-assessed fees as of May 21st, 2024 in the amount of $225. And is that true or not true?
True.
Did you enter your pleas of true to counts 1, 3, 4, and 8 freely and voluntarily? And did you plead true to those counts because they're actually true?
Yes.
I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Rojas? And do you fully understand them?
Yes.
And you understand if I follow the agreements you made with the district attorney, you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal. And the agreement that you've reached is for a cap of 5 years. So I can give you 5 years if I revoke your probation. I can give you less. It'll all depend on the information I receive at a sentencing hearing. Do you understand?
Yes.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Chambers is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1, 3, 4, and 8 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case for sentencing so that the probation department can do an updated report. That'll give me more information about you, your case, and then we'll come back for sentencing. All right, you can go back with the bailiff.
This man is facing an aggravated assault charge, and even with a 5 U cap, that's still serious time. Somehow, he thought it was a brilliant idea to break half the conditions of his probation, as if they were optional. The judge reads off the violations like she's scanning a Costco receipt, line after line after line. And yet, he still has the audacity to plead not true to some of them, which is wild considering most of these conditions are pure black and white facts. The no employment violation especially, why would probation lie about whether you have a job? You either clock in somewhere or you don't. It's not philosophical that I'm honestly looking forward to a sentencing hearing, because I need to hear what kind of story he plans to tell to explain all these not true claims. At the end of the day, whether you break one condition or all of them, the entire point of probation is don't break any. It's not a punch card system. The fact that the state and defense agreed to only a 5U cap is shocking, considering how blatantly he disrespected the court's rules. Drug violations, location violations, reporting violations, you name it. His behavior sends a crystal clear message. I don't care what the court says. I'll do what I want. And that's exactly how you walk yourself into a sentence you could have avoided. If anything, here's a perfect example of why probation is a privilege, not a guaranteed second.
All right, are you Reagan Howard?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Howard, you're in cause number 22-39924 on probation for deadly conduct, discharging a firearm, given a 6-year deferred probation, June 10th of 2024. Motion to revoke was filed. Entered pleas of true to counts, looks like 1 through 9, and then 11, 12, and 13. I've received an updated pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Defense has, right?
Mr. Kimler, go ahead.
Your Honor, Ms. Howard has struggled on probation, and I say that really, it was a kind of a polite way of saying she really hasn't done a whole lot while she's been on probation, except test positive for THC and alcohol. In talking with her and trying to understand why she didn't make more of an effort on probation, I think that she, again, and I'm perhaps sound like a broken record in these cases, but I do think she's suffering from some underlying mental health issues that have to do with depression. The court would note in the report that she did have a stillbirth, and I think that that's affected her. Of course, that's not an excuse, but, and then of course she refused the help with ISF and substance abuse. And again, I'm not an expert, but I think part of her problems with THC and alcohol stem from self-medication, and I do think she would benefit from ISF, substance abuse, and she, I believe, wants to do that now, but really she needs treatment for depression and get her serotonin levels back. I mean, again, I'm not an expert, but to get her serotonin levels balanced out, and perhaps she would perform better. I think she's had an opportunity since she's been in jail, I believe about around 120 days, to reflect and introspect and gain some insight into her position here. And she's told me during our discussions that she does want to keep a felony off of her record. She does have plans for the future that a felony would compromise. And she really wants to do the probation and is willing to do the ISF. Now I know I've looked at these incident reports from the jail, and it seems that this is kind of a recurrence with people that are detained pending resolutions of these NPPs for these reports to be generated. And I'm not questioning the veracity of the reports. I would just note that it appears to me from looking at the reports that they all derive from her interactions with one corrections officer.
Not all, but most.
Well, most of it, but then again, I'll leave it to Ms. Howard to kind of explain that to you, maybe what's going on there at the jail with these reports. She has a support system available. These women in the back are all here in support of her. So she has that going forward too. I think that she can do the probation, Your Honor. It's a question of whether she's sufficiently motivated. And again,
Well, why didn't you go to ISF? Why did you?
I'll let her.
You were given an
opportunity.
opportunity. So you were given an opportunity to go to ISF, and you said, "No, I don't want to do that." Right?
I was kind of scared and didn't know like what the courts was gonna tell me, and
Well, I mean, ISF would be better than prison.
yes, ma'am, I know that, but I was just scared I wanted to just buy me some time and actually do my probation, because I know I admit to all my wrongdoings. I wasn't ready to go to prison or ISF.
But you know it's going to be one or the other.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to not do all this and me go, okay, well, let's go right back out on probation.
Yes.
You know it doesn't work like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what's going on with you and Miss Bobo.
I'm not gonna say she picks, but it's a lot of picking going on with that officer.
Do you think if you, from day one, were just following the rules,
Yes, ma'am.
that you probably wouldn't have that issue?
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So, from what I can tell, from the time you got in there, you didn't follow the rules right.
Yes, ma'am.
She got frustrated, and then it's all right.
Well, I don't want her to interrupt you.
It's okay. She got frustrated probably pretty quick because her job is just to try to make you guys follow the rules. When you're not, then they're gonna pick because you're still not following the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean? So if you did that from the beginning, she wouldn't have been watching you more closely. She wouldn't have been worried maybe so much. But if you continue to break the rules, it's her job to enforce those rules. That's not picking, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's enforcing the rules. She's just there to do her job. And I know there's a lot of females in there that don't have a stack of write-ups like this.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't call officers bitches. You know? We're looking at 2 weeks ago. Bitch, you've been waiting all day to just write me up. That's after all these pages of the other incident reports. She probably is waiting to write you up because she knows you're not going to follow the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Mr. Smith?
Clip 3. This second defendant is a textbook example of, I only want help once I get caught. The moment drugs or alcohol show up on a test, suddenly she wants treatment, support, guidance, everything she refused when it was first offered. When the judge suggested ISF at the very beginning, she swore she'd be fine on probation. Then everything falls apart, and suddenly her problems are too overwhelming to manage. It starts sounding less like a genuine plea for help and more like a strategy to dodge jail time, and you can absolutely tell when someone is trying to play on the court sympathy. It shows in every word and every excuse. Let me know in the comments if you genuinely believe she has a real drug or mental health issue, because I'm not buying it. If I were the judge, ISF wouldn't even be on the table this time. It would be straight to jail for wasting the court's time. There should be a rule that if you refuse help the first time, you don't get to come back crying for it later. And what really seals it is her behavior in custody, arguing with guards, cussing them out, acting like she's being targeted. That's not someone who needs help. That's someone showing exactly why probation officers keep both eyes on them at all times.
Judges, seems like deja vu all over again. She has an issue with apparently cocaine, THC, and alcohol. She was offered a chance to take care of that, and she basically said, no, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I don't need help.
Do you think you
when
need
she
help?
With my depression, I don't think I have a drug problem.
You don't? So you're on felony probation and you're using drugs, knowing it could send you to prison,
Yes.
and you don't think that's a problem?
It's a problem.
Okay.
Yes.
She was using THC up until the day before she was arrested. I think she's saying that now just so that she doesn't wind up going to prison. I don't think it's going to be effective in that.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. So I don't disagree with Mr. Smith. Ms. Howard, you're on probation for something very serious, but you don't have a lot of criminal history. I mean, you're one of the ones that should be able to complete this.
Yes, ma'am. And
You
I
know.
can.
I don't doubt that. I mean, you've got people here. Not everybody has people sitting here in the courtroom when they come to court.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people really are on their own, but you're not using that help through probation, through your family. And if you don't, you are going to end up in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
So here's what I'm going to do, and I don't want you to misunderstand anything I'm about to say, because this is your chance. And there's going to be a very important caveat to all of this, and that's going to include not getting in trouble. Talking about that in a minute. We're going to find that you entered your pleas of true to count 1 through 9 and 11 through 13 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true.
Yes, ma'am.
Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty and revoke your probation. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to continue you on probation. I am going to order that you enter and successfully complete the ISF, the substance abuse track of the ISF program. When you get out of that, the aftercare will be the JCDI program, and you're going to be on zero tolerance. You will be required to wear a drug patch. If that drug patch comes positive, you're right back in here and you're looking at go to prison for up to 10 years. Just that simple. Now, here's probably what's going to be the hard part. If you get another write-up, it is going to be a condition of your probation that you not get another write-up.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're going to be in our jail for a couple of weeks before they send you to ISF. You better figure out how to stay off Miss Bobo's list.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever it takes. You do every single thing you're supposed to. Just be quiet. Just be quiet for 2 weeks. Follow every single rule to a T, because you may not ever get out of our jail. I will check, and if I get a report, you will be back in here before you ever get to ISF. If you get to ISF and there's somebody that you think's picking on you and you get incident reports there, same thing. So it's time to figure out that at least while you're in custody, you got to do what everybody else says. When you're out of custody and you're not on a felony probation, then you get to follow your rules. Until then, you're on all of these rules. And it's not always you eat when they tell you to eat. You go to bed when they tell you to go to bed. You wear your jumpsuit the way they tell you to wear your jumpsuit. You don't talk when they tell you not to talk. You don't sit on a bunk when you're supposed to stand. All those things. It's like being treated like a kid, but that's what happens when you are on a felony probation. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.